Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Football Family Feuds, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about Sancho and giving you the latest update on what I've been hearing. I'll also be having a look at Teles, and finally I'll be talking about the kind gesture by our chairman Roman Abramovich. So before I get into the news stories, please guys, can you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and help me get to at least 3,000 subscribers by the end of this month. Right, okay, first story is Sancho, and the latest Sancho stories. Every day you're having a new story coming out about Sancho, and depending on what side you support, I suppose you'll believe the stories or not. Because the other day it said that he was close to Manchester United, and Manchester United were the favourites. And then it was Chelsea, then back to Manchester United, then Liverpool entered the fray. And the latest stories is that Chelsea have moved back to the front of the queue. The headlines are that Sancho has eyes on Chelsea and not Manchester United. And it says that Manchester United have been dealt a blow by reports that Jadon Sancho would prefer a move to Chelsea if he decides to go back to England. And that's the big word, if, because in all of this, he may decide that he wants to spend another season at Dortmund. So that's another possibility. But the reason why they say that he wants to go to Chelsea rather than Manchester United is because he has roots in London. Remember, he's a South London boy, and he thinks that he'll be more at home playing for a London club. And the other reason cited for his preference for Chelsea is that he doesn't want to upset the other half of Manchester. A lot of you know that he started his career at Manchester City before moving on to Dortmund. So he feels that if he goes to Manchester United, it won't be well received with the Manchester City supporters, which makes sense, I suppose. So it's got a lot of Chelsea fans excited by this news. But as I keep saying, there are going to be twists and turns. Nobody knows where he's going, and a lot of it is speculation. So while we're on the Sancho topic, I just want to talk about another player as well, Leon Bailey, because I spoke about him in a video a couple of days ago, how Chelsea were interested in him for £85 million. Again, that's just another rumour. But it's kind of got me to thinking, because a lot of feedback I've got on this news, and looking at stories on Twitter as well, and other channels that I watch, other Chelsea channels on YouTube, a lot of people are not too excited about the prospect of Leon Bailey coming to Chelsea. And that's how fickle football supporters can be, because if you remember a couple of years ago, every Chelsea fan wanted Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey now is what Sancho is at the moment. You know, he was the one that every single Chelsea supporter wanted. It was, we need to get this guy. He's the next best thing. He's brilliant. He's superb. He can be the new Neymar. He's the up and coming star. And so he went over to Leverkusen. He had a good season at Leverkusen. And again, you know, the hype was there. But Bailey's had a couple of two in different seasons, but mainly that's down to injury. He's had a lot of injury difficulties, and so that's kind of caused his career to do stop, start, and he hasn't hit the heights as of 2 seasons ago. But that's not to say that he can't get back to being that player that we all thought he was. You know, he's got because if you look at him, let's see the way that he's played, not only on the YouTube videos, because anyone can look good on the YouTube video, but if you've actually seen 90 minutes of Leon Bailey, then you would know that there is a good player in there. So maybe he needs a change of environment, a couple of injury-free seasons, and he can be that standout winger that we need. So I suppose because Sancho's now entered the fray, and he's had a standout season for Dortmund. Bailey's forgotten about, and everyone's not interested in Bailey. Is Sancho the better of the two? On current form, yes. Over the time, we don't know. And that's the thing with football is we don't know what's going to happen in the future. How Sancho's career is going to develop, or how Leon Bailey's career is going to develop. So Sancho may stay on that upward curve and be above Bailey throughout his career. But as I said, time will tell. If Sancho stays, for instance, if Sancho stays at Dortmund next season and has a poor season, is he going to be forgotten about, and the next best thing is going to come onto the scene and we're going to be talking about him instead of Sancho? That's why, guys, we can't always be reactionary about things, because football is a game where one day you could be at the top and the next day you could be down at the bottom. That's why the likes of your Ronaldos and your Messis are seen as standout players, because they perform season in, season out. So they don't only have one standout season, they've been consistent. And so that's what separates good from world class, is how consistent you can be. And as I said before, if you look at the reasons behind Bailey's demise, it's because of his injuries. Same as if you look at Callum Hudson-Odoi, because Callum Hudson-Odoi was kind of talked up to the same levels as Sancho. When you saw the under 17s, the youth, when they won the World Cup, Hudson-Odoi was better than Sancho in that tournament. But the difference is between the two careers is that Sancho went over to Germany, had game time and played a lot of football, developed his game, whereas Hudson-Odoi, as he was starting to develop his game, he picked up that nasty Achilles heel injury, and so that's why his career path hasn't taken that same trajectory. So football is a very fickle game, guys, so anything can happen at any minute, so we need to understand that when we are judging players. So on to my next story. Let's look at Telles and Ebola again, reporting about Telles. Ebola, the Portuguese publication, quite reliable for footballing stories. And so I did a video recently where I said that we were very interested in Telles. So that interest has now moved up from interest to making a firm inquiry about the player. So Chelsea, I understand, have been in talks with his representatives. Telles is keen to join Chelsea. Only got a year left on his contract that Porto wanted him to renew, but he doesn't want to renew that contract. And so as Porto, financially, they'll need to sell him. So it looks like something could be happening in the summer. A deal of about 25 to 30 million is what I believe could sew up that deal, that particular deal. They want is 35 million, I think, is the buyout clause, but with a year on his contract, I don't think they'll be getting half that sort of money. So as I said, 25, 30 max is what I expect him to be going for. So my final story is about Roman Abramovich. And it's quite a nice story, actually. It says Roman Abramovich will pay for NHS staff to stay at Chelsea's Millennium Hotel at Stamford Bridge for at least 2 months after personally taking the decision to help aid the coronavirus. So it's great to see our owner acting in such a way, because this virus, it allows you to see who the real, genuine, nice people are in our society, and all those who are just out for money. Because he didn't have to do this, so it's a very nice gesture from him. Because I've looked, someone sent me something earlier. Amazon are charging £13 £39 or £29 for a bottle, a 500ml bottle of Dettol, which is totally disgraceful. You've got some corner shops who are selling hand sanitizers, Carex, hand wash and things like that for £10.95. Taking advantage of a situation when everyone should be pulling together to try and get us through this. There are people here with showing no heart whatsoever and are exploiting the situation. So in this world of greed, I just have to say, well done, Roman Abramovich, for taking this stance and for giving a helping hand when people need it the most. So I wish there were more people like Abramovich who can just use their wealth for good rather than seeing it as an opportunity to make more money. Rant over, but I was really annoyed at some of the things that I've been reading with regards to this virus situation. So there you go, guys. That's the video wrap up for today. What do you think? Sancho, you happy that, again, as I said, it's just rumours. Would you want Sancho, or would you take Leon Bailey? Are you happy that, you know, that we are linked with Leon Bailey, or would you go for another winger, Chukwueze or somebody like that? Do you think that the money, 120 million, probably will be Sancho's fee? Do you think it can be more wisely spent on 2 or 3 other players rather than splashing out that big fee on one player? What do you think of these Tellers links? Are you happy that we may be going for him? And also comment below about the gesture by Roman Abramovich. I'll be happy to read all your responses. And so, guys, remember, take care, stay clean, and remember to keep that blue flag flying high.